What's up, interwebs? I'm Tim Green. This is my writing channel, and this is Bad Writing with Bad Narration, where we're going through the only novel I've ever pantsed, which is a first draft.
Yes.
And my buddy Adam,
Hi, how's it going?
is being our first-time narrator, meaning he's terrible, doing it in one take.
One take.
And
I don't do multiple takes.
he is not like...
They call me One Take Adam for a reason.
He's lazy.
No.
Yes, you're lazy.
No, I want to be able to do multiple takes.
You just don't have the time?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I got other shit. I run an entire YouTube channel.
Of like 300, like 200 people, subscribers. Stop acting like you're a big deal.
I am a big deal.
My channel dwarfs yours by
I
100.
triggered a weird thing with the algorithm with people who should be triggering it at much higher levels than I do. I tricked the system.
Yeah, because you were cheating.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a good thing that they did that.
Anyway, but yes, he's the first time narrator, reading a first draft. It's hilarious. Now, especially that we're into him reading these live, where the first 5 episodes of this was pre-recorded. He was reading, had already pre-recorded. So now you're probably gonna hear me laughing or saying, like, gasping or something in the background as he's reading this horrible first draft.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's wonderful,
So wonderful.
but horrible. And I have a feeling there's some Easter eggs in this one that Adam's not gonna let me live down.
Never.
So
I'll bring them up at some point.
So here's what we're going to do. In a moment, Adam will start reading Chapter 7, because this is Chapter 7 we're on. If you haven't read the rest of it, you should probably
to the rest of it?
listen to the rest of this, so you know what happened beforehand. But you could...
There are 6 other episodes to check out.
You could read this, do this one first, but you may be a little lost.
Don't worry, so am I.
Yeah, so are we. And we've gone through the first 6 chapters of this. So, but afterwards, once Adam's done reading the chapter, we will discuss going over what I thought about when I was reading this, Adam's questions he has from the chapter.
Oh, yes.
And then that'll be it. So, Adam.
Yes.
I think it's time to read.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
It is time to read. What? Oh.
And if you go on to like this, why don't you go hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up. Helps with the algorithm.
Yes.
All right, now it's time to read.
All right. Okay. Skyler Grant, Chapter 7. Jenna's dad drove his truck right up next to the house, parked on the road instead of pulling into the long, narrow driveway. Once stopped, everyone got out of the truck. Skyler stood up in the back next to tied-up unconscious soldier as Jenna and her father came around. You both need to get your basics, clothes, important documents, computers, if they're laptops, said Skyler, looking down the road as they just came through. There is no telling if this team was just one of a larger group or reinforcements have to make their way here. What are you going to do? Asked Jenna, pulling her hair from her face. I'm going to keep on watch. Last thing we need is for these soldiers to get the element of surprise. Oh. 10 minutes. Jenna turned and ran over to the side door, bent over looking for something. Skyler assumed they had an extra key hidden. After a moment, she stood, grabbed the handle of the door, paused a second before pulling the door open and disappearing inside. Her dad walked around to the back of the truck to follow before he stopped, turned around, and walked back over to the truck. I am John, said Jenna's dad, extending his hand. Skyler shook it before pulling away. Skyler, just in case you didn't catch it before. Glad to meet you. John turned and soon disappeared into the house, as did his daughter. Skyler watches as the door closes behind him before turned to face the road. After a few moments, he turned and looked down at the soldier he had tied up. You might not have the answers I'm looking for, but you sure will be able to help me get them. 34 minutes ago. Light. Nothing but bright light is all he could see. Slowly, as his eyes focused, shapes were able to be made out until he could see. The trees around him and a faint voice could be heard in the distance. The soldier looked up to see Skyler 40 feet from standing holding something to his head and talking beyond the tree line. Every part of his body hurt, but he knew what he had to do. He slowly, trying not to make any noise, got up on his knees, but winced in pain in his back as he straightened his back. Once on his knee, he checked to make sure that Skyler had not seen or heard anything. For what he could tell, he was not sitting on the ground facing the school. Now was the time to get away and call for backup. As he turned, he noticed his weapon laying only a few feet away. Once on his feet, he grabbed it before returning and furthering into the woods. A few minutes passed when he heard noise coming from behind him. As he stopped, ducked down behind some brush, and waited, his weapon ready to fire if he needed to. A few moments passed when Skyler came running. He stopped not far from where he was hiding. "No, where did you go?" The soldier could hear Skyler saying. Fearing he might search the area, he decided to try to get him to leave. He picked up a small rock and tossed it as hard as he could. The rock flew through the air and hit several trees and brush. Immediately, Skyler took off in the direction the soldier threw the rock. Once out of sight, he got up and headed southwest towards the roads that leads to the high school. Several minutes passed, then the soldiers reached the road. Once there, he looked up and down the road. No cars were coming. But he wasn't looking for cars. He was looking for his vehicles. When he spotted the marker he put, he crossed the road, ran up about 40 yards, and there were 2 sand pickup trucks. He ran right over to them, opened the door of the first truck, and reached. He pulled out a large black box with a thick antenna on it. The soldier quickly turned the satellite phone on, dialed, and waited. A few rings before someone picked up. "Hello?" "This is number 8 of the detain and capture mission, Jackal," said 8. "Go ahead. Do you have the target?" "No. Mission is a failure. As far as I know, I'm the only member left." "What the hell happened?" I'm not sure what happened to the rest of the team. Team Lend had me go ahead and get in position. Once I was the target came out of the school and waited on the steps for her ride, like always, I reported it to Team Lead, who was still getting into position. I waited until I heard something. She eventually started to look the area I was. I reported it to Team Lead, but he did not respond, so I went to take the shot. When a kid stepped in front, I shot him in the leg, only to see he was only a few feet away from me. I shot him again and dropped him and fired the shot. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on the ground. The kid was out in a field beyond the tree line. Once sure I could move, I retreated to report in. "Did this kid have dark blonde hair?" "Yes." "You are certain you are to return to your hotel and wait there. We're sending reinforcements. Leave a message for any of the team that might make it back to the vehicles. Do the same." "Understood." "What is taking so long?" "It's been close to 18 minutes, said Skyler, walking into the living room. Both Jenna and John sat on the couch next to each other, bags at their feet. "What's going on?" Shit, I lost my place. "Don't get me wrong," said John, standing up. "I appreciate everything you have done for my daughter, but until you do some splaining of what the hell is going on, we are not going anywhere." It's not the time for this. "You said you would answer my questions." Let me read that one more time. You said you would answer my questions, said Jenna, standing up. "Or were you lying about that?" I did say that I will, but I never said when I would do it. As I said, now is not the time. Unless you want to lose your daughter, I suggest you and her pick up your bags. Look, son, you are the youngest in the room. The only reason why I haven't put my foot down is because of what has happened. I know you can throw me around with your Jedi mind trick, but you are asking me and my daughter to leave the only place we have ever called home. You want us to leave? Start talking. Skyler stared at John. He was not happy. He was the youngest, barely 15, and like most teenagers, he didn't like being told what to do by an adult, especially one that is not his parent. He looked over at Jenna, her hair now pulled back into a ponytail. She had changed out of her cheerleader out uniform into some sweats and a pullover hoodie. She stood with her arms crossed over her chest and head slight tilted to her right. Skyler realized they both meant what they were saying. I will explain on the way out of here, but every second you waste being suborned, the greater the chance we are going to have to fight our way out of this town. I know you may be hesitant to leave. I can understand that. And it was never part of my plan to ever let you know what was going on until I realized the soldier was already in a place. If that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't have met. You mean you were just going to take care of those men and leave me to get taken by the next wave? Asked Jenna, walking towards Skyler with her face quickly turning red. No, said Skyler, backing up a little. These people, these soldiers, the people these soldiers work for are after me. And the moment they knew I was here, they would focus on finding me instead of going after you. Now, I'm asking you this one time. Let's go. If you don't, I will leave you to figure this all out on your own, and I can tell you this. It will end with Jenna getting taken away, and you, John, either dead or framed for your daughter's death that they fake. John and Jenna looked at each other, then back to Skylar. A few moments passed before Jenna returned to where she was sitting, picked up her bag, and walked past Skylar. John followed with his bag. Skylar was relieved and followed after them.
So, Adam, there's a word. I think we need to start doing the word of the chapter.
Suborned.
No. It's turned.
Turned. Yeah, there was a lot of turning.
Yeah, I realized that, like, as you're reading, like...
And they turned.
And he turned. And he turned back. And then he turned.
By the way, we have a lot of placement issues in this match. I mean, in this match. In this chapter. Yes, you have, the dad parking the car on the street right next to the house that has a long, thin driveway. Normally, if you have a long, thin driveway, the house is set back from the road. So what did he do? Just like pop the curb and just right up, four-wheel drive it right up the lawn?
I think the only explanation I could think of is like...
He's on a corner.
Yeah, it's more like the
driveway is actually on one side.
Yeah, and so you're coming off the road and he goes back and around to the other side.
Yeah.
But so to save time, he just went up, parked on the road.
Which is like 10 feet away from the front door.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
got a weird long side yard.
I have no clue. I don't know what I was thinking about why that. And no, Adam, to save your time, I do not know why I wrote Jenna went back into the house when I never mentioned she came out of the house.
Yeah. Also, the fact that the dad walks around the back of the truck, talks to, like he's going to talk to Skyler, and then has to walk back to the truck to talk to Skyler.
I do not know what I was thinking. I think the idea was he was walking towards the house.
This
and
was
came back.
It was an interesting read from my point of view.
I'm sure.
Very interesting.
You stuttered through and had to stop once or twice.
Not
only that, you lost your place.
Yes, I actually lost I got into it. I was so into it.
Okay, I have to ask this.
Yes.
So Jackal is the annoying operator at the end.
He's a jackal.
So Danny Fox.
The llama.
Yeah, basically, if you don't watch my stuff on Adam's channel, you won't get that reference.
Oh no, you won't. But like, yeah, I. You know what? The guy back at the base, he is really annoying.
Yeah.
And these soldiers are like, we have to put up with this guy. I mean, he pays well, so we'll check in. All right, what do you want?
Yeah, I don't think one thing I realized after we got to the soldier who took the shot, he didn't need to recount exactly what happened.
No. He gave way too much information. He's like, Jackal should have been like, give me the cliff notes here, kid.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Time out. All right.
All he needed to say was he recounted what happened. That's all that was needed.
I shot a civilian.
No, not even that. He didn't have to even say that. He just a summary of saying like, and then he explained what happened, and then go into the dialogue of, okay, you're asking about what did he have dark blonde hair. Didn't even need to say recount it.
Nope.
Because it wasn't that long ago we had it happen.
Exactly.
Now, further in the novel, yeah, you could do a little recap of what happened, just in case people.
At that point, it's more of a debrief.
Yeah.
But like, you could actually plan out that this soldier will be debriefed, and we get a more detailed version of it from his point of view.
Assuming
but
we're
right now, it's just a check-in. Hey.
Yeah. So I just need to say summary.
I fell unconscious.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. No, he just said, and so what happened, and he filled in what happened.
Yeah.
Did this boy have and then go into the Jackals?
Dark blonde hair.
Yeah.
Dark blonde hair. Did he have that?
I still love how you gave Jenna's dad.
Jenna's
By the way,
dad
I thought it was Jenny.
You know. You know what? She's a strong, independent woman, and she is older than Skyler, and she can change her name if she wants to.
Apparently.
You do not judge her.
I'm not. I'm judging myself. The fact a chapter ago, all I had to do was look back and see her name was Jenny and not Jenna.
I know.
But here's the thing. I'm almost certain, Adam, that I consciously made the choice to change the name to Jenna, and I would go when I went back into make edits, the second draft. That's when I would change the other ones. Because I went. This is where I think I decide. Hillary becomes Skyler's girlfriend, not her mom.
Yes.
That's her name in the beginning.
Not Isis's mom.
Not Isis's mom.
Thank God Isis is dead.
This is why I think Isis became. That's why I changed a bunch of
names.
She
had a terrible name.
Yeah. No, I love that name, but it's been ruined because of ISIS, the terrorist group.
Yeah, but she's not, I'll be honest, Middle Eastern enough to be able to get away with having that name.
No, you can have that name without
Egyptian.
You can have that name without being. It's better if you actually have
Midwestern white girl does not deserve to have that kind of name. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's better if you.
It needs to be a really bad spelling of Ashley.
I'm saying I'm saying it's better if the character has some kind of family heritage within there.
Yeah, okay.
But like, yeah.
And I mean, when I say Ashley, I mean Ash Slay.
Ash Slay.
Yes.
Or Ali Shah.
Oh man,
Ali Shah.
I love Ali Shah.
Ali Shah.
Ali Shah is so awesome.
That's another joke from his stuff.
Yes.
My content on his channel.
But oh man, this is This was
It was interesting. I'm actually kind of impressed with how, because I knew this was not where Skyler gives answers. I knew that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of impressed with the how he convinces them, about it. I was actually worried it was going to be a very paper thin.
By the way, we never knew that she was in a cheerleading outfit this entire time.
Yeah, once he said that.
Good job for throwing that in there.
Did
buddy.
I actually have that in the facts? I don't think
nope.
that.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. So.
In my head, it was jeans and a t-shirt, and now I'm like, oh, all right, weird.
It's probably
as played by Megan Fox.
I do probably think at the time it was probably in there. That's what she was wearing, but I just forgot to put it in there. Or I realized she didn't ever. I never described it, so I decided to put it here. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Something to reason why she was still at school after school got out. That was so.
Why would she be wearing it at school?
Well, if she just got out of cheerleading practice.
Yeah, but you don't specify that it's that late in the day.
Well, I do express that it's after school got out.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And she's pretty much alone, so yeah, that would make more sense. It would be like after practice.
And she decided to keep her cheerleading outfit on instead of changing out of it.
Ew.
So it's one of those parents like my dad. When he comes, he doesn't want to wait. So I won't change. Only if he's late and I could have changed.
Yeah.
And I know I can't go and change because if I walk away, he'll show up and then
Yeah.
type situations.
And then he'll be like, I was waiting here for you.
Like, for 20 minutes. I walked away for like 2.
I went to the bathroom for 5 total minutes. It hasn't been 20 minutes. 20 minutes ago, I was out here waiting for you.
You're late.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in you, Dad.
Wow.
I miss you, Dad. Sorry. Things got weird. Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. I think I do that. I think now I think about it, I think I probably do that a lot. If I think I missed some details, I put it in as is later on.
Just later on. Okay.
I think I could be wrong. This could be the only time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should start doing the word of the chapter. And yes,
Turned.
Turned is it. But what was the other one, Adam?
Oh, suborned.
Yeah, that could have been if I didn't say turn a lot. Suborned would have been it. You're looking
Suborned.
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 Oh, you're looking it up. We'll see. How bad was my spelling compared to how it's supposed to be spelled?
It's spelled correct.
Oh, it is.
And it's used correctly.
Interesting. You pronounced it wrong.
No. Well, it's supposed to be suborned.
Yes, suborned. I spelled it correctly. You said it wrong.
Yeah, I did. Because I was surprised by it.
I'm surprised it's spelled correct. But yeah, turn was definitely...
Actually, nope. You used it wrong.
I did.
Yep.
Okay.
Suborn. Bribe or otherwise induce someone to commit an unlawful act as perjury, such as perjury.
Okay. So
yeah,
I used it as...
Every second you waste being bribed to commit an illegal act, the greater the chance we are going to have to fight our way out of this town.
Yep, I used it wrong. Surprised I spelled it correctly, but I used it wrong.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Spelled it right.
Used it wrong.
I have an idea of what you were trying to go with.
But when he said that, I was like...
Stubborn?
Yeah, I think being
you
stubborn.
Probably was trying to go for stubborn and spelled it suborned. And you ended up spelling suborned correct.
I think I was probably also going with the idea of being framed.
Yeah.
Or something like that, but that still doesn't make sense.
Nope, not at all.
I was going for stubborn. Yeah, I don't know. It's been over a decade, so I don't remember exactly. But, I mean, so at least a lot happened in this chapter. Unlike chapter 6, not much actually happened. I actually would make more sense to combine chapter 6 and 7 if I was to redo this. So you just kind of have, okay, we get out, convinced to leave, move on, get to the house, and do that. Maybe even tell the soldier story.
Mm-hmm.
As the gap to fill as they're going to the house.
Yeah.
And you could just use the time saying like Skyler after a long time go past. So Skyler looked at it and realized actually 18 minutes have passed, and goes in instead of having something fill the gap. Or if add another something there.
Yeah.
But to fill. But over. But yeah, at least we got momentum actually happened in the story instead of you just cutting off in the middle like what? Yeah, a shorter chapter.
Yep.
Overall thoughts, Adam?
It's a filler chapter.
Kinda.
It doesn't really move anything along. We already know what's happened. They're just finally convincing. Be like, hey, they went to the house to pick up the stuff.
Yeah, it definitely could have been shorter.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily a filler chapter. If they just went to the house, got their stuff, and then left, yes. That would have been
it's still, but it also feels that like this chapter of them going there was meant to purely tell you the story of the soldier that got away, or that more accurately, that Skyler let free so that they could get away. And that he could figure out where they had gone. Because they were all in Skyler's trap.
Wow. But no, that's the other thing. That we find out what happened to the soldier, how he got away and what he did. That could have been shorter as well.
Oh, totally.
And it could have taken... We didn't need it to pick up where he woke up. We could have just picked up where he's hiding and Skyler comes through. And then got to the... and radioed in, and we didn't even need to have that conversation. We get the idea. He pulls out a phone and dials, and had Jackal check in, and that's cut there.
Hey, what do you want?
So, but yeah, okay. But we're definitely closing into. I think it's going to be in the next chapter or the chapter after, where we're going to get the Jenna's dad being stubborn, and I'm pretty sure he pulls the car over. In the middle,
he says that he's gonna pull this world over, and send everyone home
until he gets
some answers.
I think
some answers.
But I don't remember exactly where it is.
He's a cold, smoldering fire.
Okay. Anyway,
yes.
Okay, you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is chapter 7 of the Chronicles of Skyler Grant. Though. Adam is still calling it just Skyler Grant because that's what he called it.
Because that's what it is.
Because that's what I told him it was.
Exactly.
I forgot to tell him the actual name of it.
There's not really any chronicles going on.
There's no there was no title page on the printout, so
nope.
he went with what I called it.
Yep.
I told him to call it instead of what it actually was going to be called. Oh well, because this is supposed to be the first book of many.
Of course.
So that's why it was called The Chronicles of Skyler Grant. But, so tell me down below in the comment section, what did you think of this chapter? Do you agree with me? It does push the story forward, or do you think it's more of a filler chapter like Adam says it is? And I will respond and tell you why you were wrong if you agree with Adam.
No, either one. He'll probably tell you that you're wrong. That's what he does.
No, if he
argues with people on the internet.
Well, you think you're mistaking me for yourself, Adam?
No. What? Really?
Yeah.
I got to respond to this guy on Facebook. Hold on.
Exactly. Anyway, that's the chapter. Tune back for the next episode next week where we go over chapter 8. And if you like this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And I have awesome content on here for writing to help you. Mm-hmm. Remember, this is the first draft. This is not the thing of the totality of my skill. But speaking of those awesome content, I'm going to put 2 videos on screen now. Check them out, and we'll see you in one of them. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye. Yeah.